Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to our channel once again. Edwin Sifuna is clearly a man on a mission. And based on my own observation, Edwin Sifuna is laying the ground to run for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya in 2027. And if you want to be a presidential candidate, Edwin Sifuna is likely to be a running mate to one of the presidential candidates in the Republic of Kenya. I want to ask you a question. If Edwin Sifuna were to run for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya today, the question is, would you vote for him? Let me read your comments, yes or no. And if he were to be a running mate, who would you want to pair him with? Let me give you 2 or 3 options. Would you want Sifuna to be paired with Kalonzo? Because for me, pairing Kalonzo with Sifuna would be the most ideal, in the hope that they're supported by Rigathi and Matiang'i plays ball. William Ruto will go home. Or do you think he should be paired with Matiang'i? Of course, Matiang'i is one of the best presidential candidates in Kenya. But if you pair Sifuna and Matiang'i, what's going to happen? It's likely that Kalonzo will be on the ballot. But let us not talk about that for now. Let me talk about something which happened yesterday. Yesterday, Edwin Sifuna, Osotsi, and Natembeya held a meeting. And for me, that meeting is significant, politically speaking. It's significant because Natembeya was the face, or is the face, of Tawe movement.
Umaskini, ukabila, mapendeleo, Ford Kenya.
Is that why you came up with the word or the phrase Tawe?
Yeah, Tawe is just a challenge to the status quo. We say that things the way they are not good. They're not serving Kenya.
You're saying no to everything?
Yeah, the structure of government the way it is now is not serving the interests of the common man. It's serving the elite. The government is structured in such a way that only people of a certain class actually benefit from government. Even with the devolution, getting even resources from the treasury to go to counties is such a struggle. So we are challenging that. And many of the programs that this government has introduced have not served Kenyans well. Look at the level of taxation now. We were paying almost 40% of your salary to the government. In fact, I'll be surprised if any salaried person will vote for this government. Because every time you look at your pay slip, it's very depressing.
Yes. Tawe movement for a long time was the one which was opposed to William Ruto's government in the Luhya nation. The truth is, at some point, Tawe movement took the Luhya nation by storm. And it was projected that Natembeya was likely to be a presidential candidate or a running mate. But then now we have entered a new phase, the emergence of Edwin Sifuna. I think Edwin Sifuna is now embraced more, not only in the Luhya nation, but nationally. To an extent that if you are to compare Edwin Sifuna and Natembeya, then you realize that Sifuna is higher up there nationally. He's been accepted. The second reason why this meeting is significant is because I saw the faces of ODM leadership. There was Osotsi, one of the deputy party leaders, and there was Sifuna, the Secretary General. Of course, I know all of them might be former. So this meeting is significant. Why is this meeting significant? Number one, I think these guys are trying to consolidate the Luhya votes. And why I'm saying this is because, remember, Osotsi also was previously the Secretary General of ANC. That's also something which you should note. So, this meeting, they're trying to consolidate the Luhya votes. Because remember, Luhya nation was predominantly ODM. which I can't now predict. Apart from being predominantly ODM, Ford Kenya was there. And of course, there is also the ANC. ANC party folded long time ago. So which means in the Luhya nation, this Tawe movement with a few MPs, 2 or 3. Then there is UDA. Presence of UDA is also very strong in the Luhya nation. They have several MPs. Then we had Ford Kenya. Yeah. But now, with the emergence of Sifuna, and if Sifuna were to run for the presidency, they have to bring all these guys together. And if ODM is not careful, they're going to be locked out. And that's why you saw Oparanya also trying to meet with those other MPs. Because these three are definitely going to sweep the Luhya nation. Unless something happens or unless they will make a terrible mistake, which I doubt they can make. So it's important. Number 2, in this meeting, I'm seeing Uhuru Kenyatta factor. Uhuru Kenyatta's hand. Which begs the question, who is the force behind Linda Wananchi? Is it a movement or is it being funded by someone? Because remember, before Linda movement, Linda Wananchi, we had, was it Kenya Moja, where you could easily tell or see the hands of Uhuru Kenyatta, but from Mushomba bolted out. So the question, is there Uhuru Kenyatta's hand here? If you talk of Sifuna, he was one of the Linda, he was one of the Kenya Moja guys. Natembeya cannot be separated from Uhuru Kenyatta. It's Uhuru Kenyatta's project. And therefore, I'm seeing probably something Matiang'i. Will this team work with Matiang'i? Because Natembeya is working very closely with Matiang'i and Peter Mao. Ideally, Natembeya should be working with Kalonzo and Rigathi. And the two have decided that they're not going to join Team Sifuna now. But from DAP Kenya, where Natembeya is, the only person working with that group is Wamalwa. So I want to assume that there's some external force bringing those Uhuru allies together. That's number 1. Number 2. Number 3, 2017 politics, which is very important. Which political party will Sifuna run on? Because don't tell me ODM. ODM is out of his reach as at now. Will they settle on DAP Kenya? Was that the reason they were meeting with Natembeya? Because Wamalwa had already hinted that they are willing to give Sifuna DAP Kenya. Natembeya is not the party leader of DAP Kenya, but very influential. So maybe they went to seek for his approval. And importantly, DAP Kenya is already through Tawe movement accepted in the Luhya nation. And interestingly, today, a new political party, Renaissance, is going to be unveiled in the Republic of Kenya. And the face of that is Caleb Amisi. Caleb Amisi is also part of these Linda Wananchi guys. So I'm looking at it as these guys are trying to figure out which is the best political party they should work with. So let us wait and see how this thing is going to work moving forward. And importantly, this meeting probably is about the Vihiga rally. Over the weekend, these guys will be in Vihiga and then they will also be in Kisumu. They had a very successful political rally in Kakamega. Osotsi was attacked in Kisumu. So they decided, because the original idea was to come to Kisumu, but I think they decided, let us gain the momentum from Vihiga. So if the Vihiga rally will not be as successful as Kakamega one, that would be a very wrong signal. So I think that's why they are bringing on board DAP Kenya, because the MP for Luanda was elected under DAP Kenya, and there are several MCs under DAP Kenya. Natembeya has held very successful rallies in Vihiga. So if you talk of Osotsi, you talk of Sifuna, then you talk of Natembeya, all the three standing on top of their vehicles in Vihiga, that would make the face of the Luhya nation. So I think they are trying to win the support of Natembeya to join them. Remember the time Natembeya was harassed here, he landed in Kisumu. Where was his first stop? Vihiga. How was it? Very successful. And I also think that Edwin Sifuna is now trying to stamp his authority as the next lawyer Kingpin. And that's serious. You see, if you look at Sifuna and the moves he's making, he's serious. Yes, Edwin Sifuna is seriously making moves. He began just attending rallies here, there, yeah? But Sifuna has gone ahead and met with Bukusu elders at the home of Moise Kitui. Before that, Edwin Sifuna went and met with Luhya elders in Vihiga at some point alongside Osotsi, if you remember. Yeah? That time, I think Raila probably was still alive. Was Raila still alive? I'll check the video. I did it. Yeah, I'll actually pin it in the comment. Sifuna has been holding meetings with strategic shareholders from the Luhya nation. So he's stamping his authority. And that can tell you why even Ruto is worried, why Ford Kenya is really worried, and why Oparanya is also trying now to stamp his authority. Because if they are not careful, Sifuna is going to sweep them. And importantly, I think they are trying to negotiate with DAP Kenya. I don't know what you think, but let us wait and see. Until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.